Alright, welcome to today's review. It's Castlevania the Adventure for the Game Boy. I'm the biggest Castlevania fan you'll ever see, but I'm not a fan of this game. Alright, made by Konami. This is a common startup. And you know, it looks like a cool title. I mean, it's Game Boy, you know it's gonna take a hit. Oh, I get to rest twice, thank goodness. Alright, now, one redeeming quality about this game is the music. Like any other Castlevania, the music's great. I love the music in all of Castlevania. But as you can see here, jumping physics are a bit off. I was trying to get the hang of it. Apparently you can jump, but you can't move after you jump. You have to be moving and jump. Which in real life is probably true, but in games it's a bit of a pain. Also, your character moves about like if he were to sit in a hover round and try to defeat Dracula. That's about the speed he moves at. Also, they took out sub-weapons. There's no sub-weapons. The hearts just give you back health, which won't really help much because half the time your whip downgrades with every hit. So you're usually back to the little small worthless whip, which means your health will be too low to really do anything anyway. Now here's a really crappy part of gameplay you just saw. How he had to get that invincibility power up to make it up the rope. They didn't make the eyeball stop coming down the hole when you got close, so you have to be invincible to get up the thing. Which they could have done something about that. That was just really lazy programming on their part, I think. Also, the enemies are kind of uninspired. I mean, you just got birds and hoppy things. Where's all the zombies and skeletons and... Okay, here's another cheap gameplay segment. You have to be invincible. They just as soon give you an invincibility power-up rather than somehow make a way to get around the eyeballs or to make them stop appearing as you get close. Fortunately, all this is fixed in the sequel, which I uploaded a long play of. Castlevania Belmont's Revenge is an awesome game. Everyone should check it out. This one, I wouldn't buy it unless you're just like a Castlevania collector and you saw it on sale and you're like, okay, I gotta get them all. I'll pay 2 cents for it. But otherwise, don't bother. Also, you can't whip while you're on a rope, which puts you in so many dangerous situations. Okay, I skipped a little bit ahead here so I could get this in. Now this should be a simple jumping segment, although it's a cheap one that they threw in here because they knew how hard jumping was in this game, and they just wanted to extend the level, no doubt. So you have to jump across these platforms, which should be easy, but because of the terrible jumping in this game, you can't get across. And because he moves so slow, it takes you forever to get back up to the other side where you can try again. Not to mention they've got that stupid bat respawning in there, taking away your whip power up and taking away health. Oh, and there's knockback too, so if you fall, you get knocked off the platform. Well, thank goodness they gave me a continue point here. I don't know what happened to the footage, but when I was playing this through, it took me at least 2 minutes or longer to get through this part alone, and I lost the footage somehow. I'm also having to re-record the narration for this. At least I didn't have to play this game again. That's the important thing that we should all be thankful for. Look at that. Simon Belmont moved faster than that, and he was 8-bit. Of course, I think this guy is too, but this is way after the first Castlevania. This is Christopher Belmont, by the way. Gosh, those falling platforms fall too fast. If you don't get just the right amount of leverage when you jump, then you'll have to go and start back over because you'll never make it because of the slow walking speed. And this is the first boss. He's not really a problem. Except for one thing I've noticed about this game is some games have too little collision detection. This game doesn't have enough. When you touch a boss, you'll likely be, the knockback will actually pull you into the boss so you'll get hit again. And this happens with a lot of enemies too. Why couldn't they have made the collision detection on the jumping work? I don't know. That would have made things a lot better. Alright, here we go with level 2. Whatever you do, don't stop moving, and those bats will just gather around you and have their merry way with you. Like I said, luckily most of this stuff was fixed in the sequel, which is definitely worth playing. If you've never played Castlevania before, don't play this one. It might just turn you off of the whole series. I invite you to go play, if you want to play one of the newer style ones, I'd go look up Symphony of the Night, because it's probably the best of the new ones. And if you wanted to play an old school one, I would suggest either Castlevania 2 Belmont's Revenge, because it's another Gameboy title and that fits in with this one. Or you could go and play the original Rondo of Blood, or the remake for PSP, which is a really great deal, by the way. Anyway, back to this game. Finally, some new enemies. Too bad they're not really worth anything. Now watch this. I want to get that candle to get the power up, but if I do, I die because I can't jump far enough. And then I have to start back over at the beginning of the level. And it's a good thing you got all those extra lives, or rest as they call them in this game. You're going to need to take a rest after playing this piece of crap. But when you jump straight up toward the bats, he like jumps backwards, so you're actually losing distance. Hit again. Haven't really figured out what the coins do in this game or the sequel. I think it may just give you extra lives. Meanwhile, that fireball from an enemy I can't even see is just flying around the screen. Luckily, I dealt with a lot of these boomerang guys in the sequel, so I know how to handle them for the most part. Alright, I'm going to skip ahead to level 3, which is near impossible to do because you walk so slow. Now, Konami thought, okay, we got a slow-moving main character. What kind of level could we put in that would be good for him to be in? Well, that's obvious. A level that requires lots of speed, right? Look at that. You barely have enough time to make it before that ceiling crushes you. Also, here's some of the too strong collision detection. If you so much as get within 2 Christopher Belmont inches of those spikes, you're going to die instantly. And that includes, like, if you were to just jump by accident and touch one, you would die. Well, of course, if they close in on you, you'll die. And look at that, I'm stupid. I want to go for the candle, but I can't because they put it there to kill you. Real mature, Konami. And I hit yes right there. Thank goodness I got 2 rests back. And of course, back to the beginning. It's ridiculous how far you have to go on this level to get a checkpoint. And considering it's a cheaply made, hard to beat level, I'd say that's really unfair. Well, everybody, time for my tips for this awful game. I hope you enjoyed the review. Don't play this, play the sequel. We'll catch you next time with NBA Hang Time.
It's official. You suck.